Week 2 of the football season is here, and if you see splashes of pink, don't worry, Mahtomedi still carries the colors of navy and gold. It is pink out night as the Mahtomedi Zephyrs hope to stay red hot following their win last week over Mankato West. To do that, they'll have to take on a Highland Park Scots team that came oh so close to knocking off Richfield in their season opener. It's the Zephyrs and the Scots, live on SEC Sports. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, and standing behind me is a picturesque view of George Smith Field. Mahtomedi picking up a big win 1 week ago as they try to get back into the state tournament. They were under 500 last year, struggled a bit. This year, they've got plenty of options in the run game. In fact, both teams do. Whoever has the stronger running attack will likely be the favorite to win in this game. We'll start with Mahtomedi because their tale branches out into several different paths. Their leading rusher from last week, Jacob Rubish, ran for nearly 100 yards on 20 carries, but he was one of 3 running backs to score in the Zephyrs' victory over the Scarlets of Mankato West. Another man to keep an eye on, Gavin Cruz. Normally, he doesn't run all that much. He had just 2 carries last week, but he ran for 82 yards, one of them a 41-yarder that led to a touchdown. And in this sport, at this level, any contribution can go a long way. While Rubish will likely get the bulk of the carries, having a white horse like Cruz and a few other options up their sleeve could stymie the Highland Park Scots. Highland 5-5 a year ago and came within a possession of beating Richfield. They lost that one 28-20. Their starting quarterback, Eric Reed, had a total of 6 pass attempts. He completed 4 of them. But like Mahtomedi, they will look to do their damage on the ground. They're led by Brandon Jackson, who averaged just over 5 yards a carry and scored 2 touchdowns in the loss to Richfield last week. So expect a fast-paced game, not a lot of passing attempts between the two teams. In fact, they passed for about 50 yards altogether and ran for over 200 when you look at the Week 1 stats. So time of possession and picking up first downs on the ground will be key to maintaining possession, tempo, and getting in front. For Mahtomedi, they hope to go to 2-0. Highland Park hoping to storm their way back and remind everybody we're looking to take a step forward. We'll be back for the kickoff. You're watching high school football live on SEC Sports. And we are just underway. Mahtomedi won the toss and deferred, and we had a fumble on the kickoff return by number 6, Isaiah Davis. Fortunately, number 27, Owen Hardy, was there to pick it up. And Highland Park will avoid disaster as they will start on offense. Eric Reed, a fascinating story. We noted in the open just 4 of 6. He was not designated as the starting quarterback. The presumed starter suffered a season-ending injury back in the spring. Reed ran running back and linebacker. So he is a two-way player with a lot of versatile experience, but as we said in the open, expect a lot of runs, and there is a run play to start for Highland Park. And they get maybe a yard out of that to the 35-yard line. We'll display the starters across the screen as we make our way forward, and Jackson picking up a yard on that first play. As we said, it's a battle of running backs, whoever can get that penetration. Oh no. Eric Reed gets tripped up, and at the high school level, once the knee goes down, that ends the play. It's a loss of 6, and that's going to make it 3rd and 15. An unfortunate circumstance in the NFL. If any of you watched the Eagles-Cowboys game and sat through the weather delay, Reed would have a chance to finish the play, but not here. Highland Park, Dave Zaitchik, the head coach, he's been at the helm for
An awfully long time in St. Paul. I remember him back in my SPNN days. That's how long he's been around. Here's a third and long. Reed flushed out, throws left, and the pass out of bounds. Great coverage by the Zephyrs, and it will be a 3 and out for the Scots on their first series. The intended receiver was Javari Brown, but again, if you can force the opponent, and this will be true on the other side of the ball too, force them into passing situations. Mark Graff for Mahtomedi just 4 of 12 last week, and Eric Reed had just 6 attempts in all. So not a lot of reps. Make them uncomfortable. That will be the mission defensively. So a 3 and out. Mahtomedi should get good field position on their first series, but we have to see how this punt plays out. It's a high snap and nowhere to go for Highland Park. Tasman Wicks gets wrapped up by Alex Hazy, and Mahtomedi will start with first and goal at about the 8. We saw this last week in the White Bear Lake Park of Cottage Grove game. High snaps, and in that case, it's a special teams miscue. Mahtomedi with first and goal at the 8. If you followed our coverage last year, they had a tough time with it. Not characteristic when you look at their history, but trying to make some new history this year. Got off to a big start with that win over the Scarlets last week. Here we go, first and goal. It's a keeper for Graff. Through the hole, and Graff on the first offensive play from scrimmage walks it in. Touchdown, Mahtomedi. The drive math, pretty easy. 1 play, 8 yards, 5 seconds. But here's another look as Graff faked the handoff and saw a seam up the middle. Joaquin Lechuga tried to wrap him up. Graff, too elusive. All right, well, if you're Mark Graff, how do you bounce back after a 4 of 12 showing? Again, Mahtomedi won. Just run the ball. And Graff did that 9 times last week for 39 yards and a touchdown. He picks up his second rushing touchdown. He's the holder for number 16, Gavin Byfolk, who drills the extra point. 10:26 left in the first quarter, and Mahtomedi, after 1 play from scrimmage, takes a 7-0 lead. The Zephyrs last year, 3 and 7, and Highland Park 5 and 5, both lost in the section semifinals. There's Dave Metzel, the head coach of the Zephyrs. He said we should be pretty balanced up front. In reference to the linemen, Jose Muchapau and Alex Hazy, the big contributors. And Metzel said we're looking for a few players to rise to the top. Mark Graff, the senior, off to a solid start there, at least on the ground game. And that electrified the pink-clad student section. Again, it's Pink Out Night, typically associated with cancer awareness initiatives. You usually see that in the NFL around October, but we only get so many games as the wind knocks the ball off the tee. We're going to have to put the wind on a timeout. Actually, it is quite cool for this time of the year. Game time temperature 57 degrees. The wind coming out of the west-northwest at 12 miles an hour. Gusts up to 20. Jacket and hoodie weather. Davis fields the kickoff at about the 15. It's the 25 before he's met at the legs by Mahtomedi's number 12, Gavin Cruz, who had 2 carries for 82 yards last week, one of them for a touchdown. First and 10 for the Scots. So 3 and out for the Scots. A touchdown after 1 play for the Zephyrs. We'll see how Highland Park responds as they start their next series at the 26-yard line. Again, Highland Park having to circle through some quarterbacks after an injury. Reed with the handoff, and Mahtomedi meets the ball carrier at the line. That is Jackson.
Jackson on the carry.
Looks like White and Henderson were involved on the coverage. No gain on the play.
Henderson on the tackle for the Zephyrs. 2nd and 10 for the Scots.
As we said, whoever can establish the run game should be the favorite. And based on the performances of the two sides, Mahtomedi, you'd think would be the favorite, getting that big win last week. It was a game featured on Strip Varsity. Highland Park in that big formation as Jackson finds a hole. He's into the secondary and still motoring past midfield. Jackson rips off a big gain as he is tackled at the 42. The first down of the game, and that's good for a 32-yard carry. Jackson shrugging off a couple of tacklers. One tried to grab his cloth, and Jackson would have none of it. Jackson ran for over 100 yards last week. 155 to be precise on 30 carries. He gets another one here. Up the gut he goes. And this game more modest. Jackson moves the ball about 3 yards as he plunges into the pile.
2nd and 8 for the Scots.
After this, Highland has some winnable games. The Harding-Humboldt Co-op, Johnson, Como Park. Washburn had a solid group a year ago, and then Central. So Highland Park could be a contender. They're in the Twin Cities region of the Northstar district. Again, in football, they don't have conference affiliations. They have districts. And Highland Park, that play clock winding down. It's down to 5. They're going to have to snap the ball or take a timeout, I think. Will they get it off in time? No, they took too long.
Flag on the play.
You can't see it on screen, but we do have play clocks here.
Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And there's the announcement from the official. George Smith Field does have play clocks. More stadiums at the high school level have them. Highland lost track, and those pre-snap penalties always vexing. So it's 2nd and long, another run play, and Mahtomedi, they've been stuffing that middle quite a bit.
Jackson on the carry.
Jackson met for
Henderson on the tackle.
for no gain. I thought it was a loss of 1 initially, but no gain on the play. And that will make it 3rd and 13 at the 44. Just great penetration along that line. And Edwin Henderson, one of the linemen, got some help from Cameron Hench, the linebacker. Keep an eye on number 53. He's been getting some of those tackles at or behind the line of scrimmage as Reed, nowhere to go. Mahtomedi all over that first line, a gain of 1, and Highland Park in that gray area, what I call akin to getting 55 cents if you're first up at the big wheel on the Price is Right Showcase Showdown. 4th and 12. A punt would risk a touchback and not much of a net gain per se, and going for it, not a lot of options here at 4th and 12 for a run-heavy team. Again, Eric Reed, the quarterback, just 4 of 6 last week against Richfield. Highland wants to run, but the math not favoring them so far. Play action for Reed, has protection, brings it downfield, and that pass is overthrown. Tasman Wicks, the intended receiver, but Reed flung it a little too hard, and Highland Park turns it over on downs, and that's what we're talking about. Reed, more of a running back than quarterback. And that's not to say guys like him can't play that position, but especially early in the season, that may be out of their comfort zone. Somebody's got a birthday, by the way. In my case, it's my unbirthday. Mahtomedi takes over 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. 6:20 left in the first, and we'll see how they handle a traditional series, so to speak. They start with a pitch to Jacob Rubish, and he sprints up the middle for a solid gain as he gets to the 49. A gain of 8. I say that because on the last series, Mahtomedi only had to go 8 yards. Again, Rubish will be the featured player in Mahtomedi's run game. Cruz had those pair of carries for 82 yards. He could be the wild card. 2nd and 2. Player in motion, it's Byfolk. They go to Cruz, and Cruz finds plenty of room. Just like last week, ripping off big gains with the opportunities he has as he scampers to the 21-yard line, a gain of 28. So Gavin Cruz, that will trim his average down a bit, but a 28-yard gain to go with the 2 carries for 82 yards last week. Cruz with that combination of speed and vision, he could rack up a lot of yards as the season moves along. Even if he doesn't get a ton of touches, our first passing play into the flat, making the catch is Byfolk. He's got room up the left side. He'll pick up another 1st down before he's brought down by Keelan Vang.
Vang on the tackle.
A 12-yard gain. They spot him at the 9. And as you saw in the replay, Byfolk was left wide open. Mark Graff says, all right, I'll take that. Again, Graff, in terms of accuracy, didn't have the greatest performance against Mankato West, but the Zephyrs got the win. Sometimes that's all that matters as Graff lines up under center. 1st and goal. It's Rubish. Rubish up the middle. Did he cross the plane? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Mahtomedi.
Scoring for Mahtomedi from 8 yards out, number 11, Jake Rubish.
They call it an 8-yard touchdown. And just like the Graff touchdown, watch the middle. And then Rubish, he was able to get through. He went over number 20, Teddy Dickey, before he touched the ground. Rubish taking advantage of the fact that he wasn't ruled down yet. Here is Byfolk's extra point. It's low, but it's through. So a 4-play, 57-yard drive, 1 minute, 51 seconds. Rubish picking up the touchdown this time as we get another angle of that score. And so far, through 2 possessions, I think it's safe to say Mahtomedi's run game is having its day. Graff, Rubish, and Cruz were the 3 to pick up a touchdown on the ground last week. Mahtomedi, they've got a favorable schedule ahead of them, at least for the next few games. St. Louis Park, Bloomington Kennedy, and Bloomington Jefferson coming up. As you hear the wind whip as Davis fields the kickoff, picked up some space.
Davis on the return.
And is tackled at about the 30. That's where Highland Park will take over.
Tackle made by number
4:23 remaining in the first. Highland Park, they do have a lot of experience coming back this year, and they have college-level talent with Jackson, Joaquin Lechuga, and Will Walter. Lots of juniors on this roster. First and 10 at the 30. Jackson on the carry. Able to squeeze through a hole up the left side and get to the 34.
Zephyrs on the tackle.
Jackson had that one big run in the last
Second and
series,
6 for the Scots.
but then the delay of game penalty unraveled the drive. Second and 6. Jackson again. This time he looks to go right, gets through the first line.
Jackson on the carry.
Yards after contact, that is a stat that we will monitor, and certainly one to keep an eye on when you are a running back like Jackson or Rubish.
Third
And
and 2 for the Scots.
you'll be getting your number called more than once. Another 4-yard gain, that makes it 3rd and 2. And those 4 or 5 yarders, they don't make the highlight reels, but they certainly help the drive math. So I would expect another run here on 3rd and 2. It's going to be Reed this time, and he's met behind the line. Ball pops out. Was he ruled down? Officials say he was down.
Reed on the carry.
But still a great defensive play by Mahtomedi.
Zephyrs on
Reed
the
held
tackle.
for a loss. Here's another look. No, he definitely was down as the ball came out, at least from that angle. Will Zephyrs making the tackle. And Mahtomedi forcing a 3 and out for the second time against Highland Park.
Whips back the punt for the Scots.
Not how the Scots wanted to start this quarter. And for Mahtomedi, a team that typically, they block the punt. And this time they'll run it in for a touchdown. Alex Hazy. I see what happened. Mahtomedi just got ahead of themselves. I was about to say how Mahtomedi, they're typically on the short list of contenders in 5A. Last year, a different story. Alex Hazy got the jump and brought his hand to the cookie jar and gave Mahtomedi all the cookies. Nom, 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 nom. I'll show myself out. Here's another look.
Take the extra point for Mahtomedi.
Hazy just got a great read on it and showed off some track speed. Here's the extra point. Highfolk with a busy first quarter. He's 3 for 3, and Mahtomedi up 21-0 with 2:17 to go in the first. So 2 touchdowns on offense and 1 on special teams for Mahtomedi. Special teams have been a huge chapter in the opening frame.
Five will kick off for Mahtomedi.
The Zephyrs making quick work. Remember, Mahtomedi went 3-7 a year ago. I think it's safe to say they might have taken that personally as Jackson fields the kickoff return this time.
Jackson on the return.
And he gets it to the 25. If you're Highland Park, you can't get discouraged.
Henry Johnson.
This first quarter, I don't think could get a whole lot worse for them in terms of
First
what has
attempt for the Scots on
transpired,
their
but
25.
they do have a more than capable running back tandem. We know Reed has a lot of experience there, and Jackson had that big run a few possessions ago. Mahtomedi making some substitutions and a flag as the play clock was winding down. No, a timeout.
Mahtomedi, their first time out of the half.
Apparently, Mahtomedi was about to get caught for too many men on the field. So a timeout was issued before the flag. Mahtomedi 1-0 so far. It's still early in the football season, but as we said a year ago, it was rough seas for the Zephyrs. Not a position we're accustomed to seeing them. Didn't win a district game or conference game, however you categorize it. This year, they hope it's a different story. And later in the year, they will play on the road at Cretin-Durham Hall and end the regular season at St. Thomas Academy. They also get one of their old foes, Tart. The next 3 games for sure, I think Mahtomedi can win. After that, some more statement games lie ahead. 1st and 10 for the Scots. It's another run play. Jackson picks up 2 as he gets lost amidst the pile of humanity we often see in every level of football.
2nd and 8 for the Scots.
Reed getting the play call. As he lines up under center. Play action this time. Reed rolls right. There's a flag on the play from the head referee in the backfield. And then a second one as Reed went out of bounds.
Reed on the carry.
I suspect one of the flags will be for holding, and we might get a second
Hirschbach on the tackle.
on a late hit.
There's a flag on the play.
And if the penalties go the way I think they will, we'll have a do-over in what would be a break for the Scots. Again, that's based on how I see it. And Keelan Vang picks up the flag and tosses it back. Tossed a little too far to the official, that is. There was a flag that came from the head referee who's positioned in the backfield. Usually when that happens, it's for a hold. And then another flag was thrown as Reed ran out of bounds. And now the official will sort this out.
Personal foul. Defense. Illegal block below the waist. After the play was over. Late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 43. We're going to go 15 forward, 15 back. Result of the play is 2nd down from the previous spot.
So an illegal block and then a late hit. We'll get a look at the late hit call. And there's the push you see from number 44, Wyatt Hirschbach.
Reed on the carry.
Reed out of bounds by that point. That's a no-no.
Illegal block penalty against the Scots and a late hit penalty against the Zephyrs.
The penalty should offset. And the official's sorting it out. You heard the ref say 15 forward, 15 back, but that would put you back at the spot you were.
All right, guys, we're going to stop again. We did it wrong. We're going half the distance back. We're going to go full 15 forward. It's going to be 2nd down.
Okay. So if you made out what the official said, they will assess the illegal block penalty in Highland Park, which is half the distance, and then they move the ball 15 yards forward after the late hit. So they technically don't offset. It's 2nd down, and Highland Park gained a yard after all that. Mahtomedi pushes them back a yard. Jackson tried to run the ball up. Mahtomedi, they have been on top of him with 1:05 to
Second
go.
made by number 64, Parker Regan.
Well, that is something you don't see every day at any level.
3rd and 8 for the Scots.
And I think the reason why they didn't offset, why they enforced the penalties the way they did, now that I think about it, the referee did say after the play there was the late hit call. So because the penalties did not occur in the same sequence, the same play, they don't offset. One penalty is enforced and then the second penalty is enforced. That's why they issued it the way they did. But Highland Park facing 3rd and 8 after losing a yard. Reed drops back to throw, and the pass is picked off. Owen Eigen up the left side and to the 10. The second turnover by the Zephyrs. Owen Eigen
First down, Mahtomedi.
with a good eye on the play. I'll show myself out once again, but not before Eigen celebrates that interception. And as we said, because the two quarterbacks going into this game, as Eigen read the route, Reed underthrew the ball. Not a lot of practice under center, so making them flinch, making them nervous, that could be crucial. And Mahtomedi winning that battle so far. 1st and 10 at the 12. This could be the last play of the quarter. They'll go to Rubish on the ground. Rubish, plenty of daylight. He waltzes into the end zone. He could have walked his way in there. And Mahtomedi firing on all cylinders. You got to be feeling pretty good if you're Rubish. A couple of carries that have gone for touchdowns. And once again, a parting of the seas. Rubish loving that middle. And I would too if there was nothing but turf in front of me.
Will accept the extra point for Mahtomedi.
That is the second possession that resulted in a touchdown on one play. And Beifel, that kick lower yet, but still through. 28-0 with 14 seconds left in the first. One play, 12 yards, 5 seconds. The Zephyrs imposing their will, imposing their might. And the band getting plenty of reps at the school song tonight. Someone may have to check their oxygen levels after the game. They might be a little winded. But this is just one quarter. Highland Park, really what it's coming down to here, the Scots, they had that one big carry by Jackson. That's about it. And that is forcing Reed to make some throws at quarterback again. He was not projected to be the starter. An injury to their presumed starter in the spring. Forced a course correction as Jackson fields the kickoff, gets a running start, and pushes forward his own teammate Isaiah Davis. Jackson gets the ball to about the 28-yard line.
Tackle made by number 63.
We'll have one more play in all likelihood for the quarter.
First attempt for the Scots from their 27-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 27. The last couple of possessions for Highland Park, harrowing to say the least. A punt that was blocked, returned for a touchdown, and then an interception that set up a 12-yard touchdown run by Rubish. Let's see if they can spring back into form on 1st and 10. Nowhere to go for Eric Reed. Hazy, who
That's the end of the first quarter.
had the punt return for a touchdown after the block, makes the tackle, and that brings us to the end of quarter number one. Mahtomedi up 28 donuts here on SEC Sports.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Second and 11 as the second quarter underway. Getting some space, trying to turn the edge. That's Joaquin Lechuga,
on the carry.
a 5'10", 200-pound running back.
Hench and Punic on the tackle.
Had some space initially, but Mahtomedi able to make the read. Lechuga held to a gain of 3. We'll make it 3rd and 8. And again, these longer third downs have proven troublesome for Eric Reed, who was 4 of 6 last week. I don't think his numbers are going to be quite as spry this week, at least not after that first quarter. Both teams coming off of one possession games. Mahtomedi on the winning side of it, Highland Park on the losing end. 3rd and 8 for Reed. Screens it, pass high but caught by Jackson. Mahtomedi snuffs it out. That's James Stuning, who wraps up Jackson at about the 25. Highland Park will take a timeout.
4th and 12 for the Scots.
They'll have to punt it, but I think Dave Zychik wants to
Timeout, Highland Park.
gather up his troops and get them refocused. It has been a rocky beginning to this Week 2 contest. Later in the game, around halftime, Mahtomedi will honor their spring state champions from the last school year. As you know, with spring sports, they don't get to bask in the celebration like fall and winter sports do, because the spring state tournaments take place after the school year typically concludes. But they will honor the state baseball champions in Class 3A, flag football, which is not a high school league sanctioned sport yet, but the Vikings throwing their weight behind it. Actually led to a lot of double duty for some athletes with girls flag football last spring. Back to action here. Highland Park punts it away. Making the catch is Luke Torgrud. Up the right side he goes, and he is still flying. Torgrud tackled just outside the 10. Everybody on Mahtomedi looks like they've got afterburners. Here's another look at the nitro boost by Torgrud. Once he turned the corner, up he went in a flash.
Go for the Zephyrs from the 10-yard line.
First and goal at the 10. The second time Mahtomedi has started a series with first and goal. Rubish threw one tackle and gets a few yards closer. They give Rubish a gain of 7.
Hardy on the tackle. Second and goal from the 3.
Second and goal. It is a little trickier to pick up the yard marker from where we're at in the press box. That's just because of the skew we face on this end. Second and goal. Graf under center. Rubish again. Touchdown, Mahtomedi. Number 3 for the senior running back. That is Cruz, I should say. I'm so used to seeing Rubish in that situation. I forgot about Cruz. I hope he doesn't hold that against me. No, I'm kidding. But Cruz, Rubish, Graf, the running backs who stepped up. Graf, a quarterback, but you know what I mean. Stepped up in that win over Mankato West. They are teaming up once again against Highland Park. There's Byvolk. Hooked that extra point wide right. A first world problem though for the Zephyrs because they lead 34-0 with 9:56 left in the second. 2 plays, 10 yards. .42 seconds, the length of the drive. Entering this contest,
Byvolk will kick off for the Zephyrs.
the metrics indicated that Mahtomedi would be the favorite, but even so, it is astonishing to see how quickly they built up an advantage as they get a late substitution into the kickoff. Jarek Brown, he had to hustle to get to his spot. Low line drive. Picked up by Davis, who gets to the 20. And it's Jarek Brown who had to sprint onto the field to line up for the kickoff, who makes the tackle. Good thing he remembered his spot in the nick of time.
For the Scots from their 20-yard line.
If you're keeping track, Mahtomedi has a total of 2 first downs, Highland Park with 1, but the starting field position skewing that count a bit as Jackson gets the carry, finds a gap to wedge through for a gain of 6.
Cody Callion for the tackle. Down for the Zephyrs.
If you're Highland Park, you might be looking for the little things at this point. You try to build your way up. Again, this is a team that won 5 games last year. Next week they get Harding-Humboldt. That co-op hasn't been too strong of a contender over the last several years. So if Highland Park can't get things flowing this week, you have to think next week gives them a pretty good chance of a bounce back. As Lechuga picks up another yard on the carry.
Lechuga on the carry. Number 84, Gannon.
Reed 5'9" again. Not his typical position. Reed last year played running back and defensive back.
In on the line for the Zephyrs, number 54, Matthew Arumba. 3rd and 2 for the Scots.
3rd and 2 for Highland Park. Reed keeps.
Reed on the carry.
And he's stopped a yard short. Players everywhere. Reed giving a little tap to Logan Hargrove.
Hargrove on the tackle. 4th and 1 for the Scots.
4th and 1. Highland, for the moment, they're going to go for it. And I don't blame them. When things haven't gone your way, to put it lightly, see if you can make some magic happen. But a bad snap ends the play. Hard to say if Luchuga would have been able to
down on 4th down.
Reach the line to gain, but once again, at high school and college, if your knee is down, that ends the play automatically. We'll see it here. So a botched snap, it looks like, ends the play before it has a chance to begin, and Mahtomedi with another short field. They'll get 1st and 10 at the 26. And they're sending in a new quarterback already, Trevor Rogoszewski. With the game as it is right now, I think you can understand the substitution. So I think it's going to be a short night for Mark Graff. And it looks like we're going to see some of the second stringers finish this one out.
On the carry.
I know that's strange to say midway through the second quarter, as Mose Muchapau found himself swallowed up for a loss of 3. I think it's one of those circumstances, though. We've seen what the starters can do. They have steamrolled the competition tonight. And if things get dicey or out of hand, you can always throw them back in. But it's something of a gentleman's agreement when the game turns into a runaway like this. You don't get bonuses for margin of victory, so great opportunity to give some of the backups a chance to play. Rogoszewski make the handoff, kept it himself, and picks up maybe a yard.
Number 70, Nolan Wise on the line.
And if we are indeed going to see the second stringers for the rest of this game, this might be the shortest stint I've ever seen at quarterback for Graff and for the other front runners like Rubish and Cruz. Coincidentally, as Rogoszewski makes the throw to an open teammate, that is Henry Johnson. It's short of the line to gain, but it is a pickup of 9, and Mahtomedi, I think, will go for it here. Bifolk has been a little wobbly as of late with his extra point attempts, and you'd be looking at a 37-yarder in this case. The stat sheet is going to get a little bigger, I think, for Mahtomedi as the backups get a chance to strut their stuff. It's 4th and 4 at the 20. The line to gain is the 16. Rogoszewski flushed out, under pressure, incomplete. Good effort, but Johnson couldn't snatch it. Mahtomedi turns it over on downs.
1st and 10 for the Scots. Now in on defense for the Zephyrs, number 88, Danny Ruiz.
Johnson a little deflated.
Haas. Number 35, Alexander Cyprus.
Johnson, by the way, made his first reception a couple plays ago. And like I said, I think that stat sheet that we get on the hubs, they haven't migrated fully to strip varsity yet. That's going to get a little bit bigger for Mahtomedi if this is their game plan the rest of the way. Reed will keep on 1st and 10, and he stumbles his way to the 25, the 26. Everybody's slipping up. We had some rain
2nd and 4 for the Scots.
last night, but field should be high and dry tonight. That being said, I also don't have to worry about 11 guys coming for me. 6-yard gain for Reed as he lines up under center, 2nd and 4. On the carry is Jackson.
Jackson on the carry.
Lunges up the gut, and that will be enough for a first down. A gain of 5, second first down picked up by the Scots. Mahtomedi will get the ball to start the second half, but again, given the score, I don't think we'll see too much action from the starters, if at all.
First and 10 for the Scots.
And this is one of those sportsmanship gestures. As the front line from Mahtomedi swallows up the ball carrier. Looks like that was Lechuga.
Haas on the tackle.
Tough to tell when you get those plays.
Second and 12 for the Scots.
Loss of 2 on the play, that much I know. Here's another look. That was Jackson on the carry. Couldn't tell right away, and 3 Zephyrs got to him almost as soon as the ball was handed off. Pistol formation this time. Reed drops back to throw. Flushed out. Now he's got room. Plenty of it. To the 40. Up midfield. He'll run out of bounds. Mahtomedi, they did such a great job applying pressure. They have overdone it. And Reed picks up a first down and then some with his feet. A gain of 26 yards. Reed did carry the ball 20 times last week for 49 yards against Richfield, scored a touchdown. And even if this is coming in stat padding time with 3:18 left in the second. As I mentioned earlier, if you're Highland Park, you have to look for those little things to build upon for future games, as Reed will keep it himself. He had good blocking, and he'll pick up a decent gain as he gets to the 39-yard line. Wanted to pass again. But his own line giving him some space to run.
Second and 4 for the Scots.
Sometimes you don't have to get too cute with it, just follow your leads. In this case, the O-line. And run plays are a little more natural for Reed. Again, running back and defensive back last season. Whatever happens this year, he'll have some stories to tell about the time he got to play quarterback. Lechuga. Fullback draw. Lechuga will get 2 yards before forward progress is stalled. And one reason why you're seeing some of the backups from Mahtomedi take the field this early, as we said, there are no bonuses for margin of victory. As we are under 2 minutes to go in the second. And every team makes the postseason with their section playoffs. Jackson ran into his own blocker.
Hirschbach on the tackle.
Teddy Dickey and Lucas Kraft share a word. Don't worry, it's not a confrontational word, but they got a little tangled up with each other. In the meantime, Jackson picks up 8 yards on the carry and got the first. Might have had more if he didn't run into his own man, or no, that was a Mahtomedi player. Initially, I thought he ran into his teammate. Wyatt Hirschbach got the stop. Threw up the stop sign, so to speak, but a first down nonetheless. Bootleg, pass caught. It's Tasman Wicks who makes the catch. A gain of 6 on the play. That is the first passing play for Highland Park. Coincidentally, both teams just one pass completion. Highland Park in the hurry up, and Jackson hurrying to the right side, looking to turn the corner. Jackson breaks the play. Brandon Jackson says, "Excuse me, but I've got a date with the end zone." And Highland Park will avoid the shutout at least with a 23-yard run to Pater. Yes, I know this may have come in stat padding time in the second quarter, 38 seconds left against players they don't normally see, but you've got to build up confidence one way or another. Highland Park had too many men initially. Now they get set up for the extra point. And that is number 88, Brennan McMahon, who sends it through. So it's 34-7. With 38 seconds left in the second. Again, Mahtomedi will get the ball to start the second half. That was a 9-play, 80-yard drive, 4 minutes, 55 seconds. And Brandon Jackson scored on a 23-yard run. Highland was able to catch Mahtomedi with the hurry up, and Jackson just kept working and working the right side until he was able to reach the corner. Jackson, 2 touchdowns last week in the game against Richfield. He'll have 1 to look back upon at least, and we'll see what the second half brings.
McMahon will kick off with the Scots.
Looking at my drive chart, and not surprisingly, again, based on the research for this matchup, a total of 3 pass completions. There have been a few more attempts than that, but I keep track of completions. Mahtomedi fields the kickoff. This is Cruz, who gets it to the 40, just about. What will Mahtomedi do with it? They get the ball to start the second half.
First attempt for the Zephyrs from their 41-yard line.
They have 32 seconds left. The 41-yard line, not terrible field position. And they have 2 timeouts left. So if they wanted to, try to make something happen here, but the play clock is winding down. They'll go to the ground, and I think that's going to do it for the first half. I had to make it interesting. It was Isaac Opitz, I believe, on the carry. And Mahtomedi content to let time run out and focus on the second half. Again, when you're up 34-7, an understandable move, but a great first half for Mahtomedi. And I don't mean just great, I mean it was Tony the Tiger great. The Zephyrs up 34-7 at halftime. We'll be back with first half stats, highlights, and analysis. You're watching high school football on SEC Sports.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment. Especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now, I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Danny. See me after class. Okay, so, Jennifer? Yeah? Okay, let me know.
Danny, I just got this notice from your school. We need to talk. This is important. We need to talk.
Danny, wake up! Danny! Laps.
Danny! She's overdosing.
When no one else knows what to do, it's gotta be you. Carrying the lock zone, you could save a life.
Our Pink Out fundraisers and our spring state champions for Mahtomedi being honored at halftime, and the Zephyrs are putting up a highly honorable performance so far as they lead 34-7 against Highland Park in week 2 of the 2025 high school football season on SEC. Mike Beaton with you. Mahtomedi on top of it from the jump, to the point where their starters were pulled midway through the second quarter, and it began with the quarterback, Mark Graff, running it in from 8 yards out after a high snap on Highland Park's first series, led to 1st and goal at the 8. Later, Rubish scores from 8 yards out on Mahtomedi's longest drive of the game, 57 yards. Then Alex Hazy blocked punt return for a touchdown. That made it 21-0. As we take another look at Mahtomedi's stingy defense. That was Owen Eigen making the pick. That would set up another touchdown for Rubish. This one from 12 yards out. That made it 28-0. And then Gavin Cruz with his second touchdown of the year. That made it 34-0. Mahtomedi missed the extra point. Highland Park, as you can see, it took a while for their offense to get going. And this was their biggest play on their last series of the half. Brandon Jackson straddles the right side and finds the corner to get Highland Park on the board, but their work is cut out for them, to say the least. 34-7 the score. As it stands right now, Highland Park has more first downs than Mahtomedi, but you have to keep this in mind. Mahtomedi, in all but one series, they started in opposing territory. And in one case, twice actually, they had 1st and goal. So the field position heavily skewed toward Mahtomedi, and they will get the ball to start the second half. Simply put, their offense and defense combining like peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and chocolate, whatever your preference. The Zephyrs, they are looking to get themselves back into the short list of contenders. And based on this performance, following that win over Mankato West, I think the Zephyrs are going to be entering the conversation if they haven't already. Second half coming up. This is high school football on SEC Sports.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter Cynthia, and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
So I really appreciate it.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your K9 fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste. Will you get out of here?
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. We get down on ourselves on not being able to, we're the providers, but we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. My daughter Isabella recently had a graduation into high school, and I got emotional because I saw pride in her eyes. I saw my daughter have her own self-love, and I saw the hard work of me being that dad 24/7 transferred to my teenage daughter. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before. It felt like it was something that I've always wanted. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Listen up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
We still have a few minutes before the second half begins as the halftime festivities are over. And I don't know if you caught this on camera, but after the fundraisers were honored and the spring state champions, the school principal, Justin Hahn, and Mahtomedi school resource officer, rumor has it, they were bombarded with pink slime. If anyone watching this, if you have some maybe cell phone video, got it on camera, feel free to send it our way. Always a treat to see the big wigs get slimed. I suppose, pink makes sense, and if it were green, Nickelodeon might issue a cease and desist letter. But I digress. Mahtomedi, what more can you say? 34-7. And as we said during the halftime highlights, it got to a point where the second stringers came out midway through the second quarter, and here's a look at what lies ahead for Mahtomedi. We mentioned this earlier, but I think the Zephyrs can pick up a series of wins before they run into a serious challenge, perhaps at the end of the season. Mankato West was a big one. And Mahtomedi passed that test, winning 21-19. A 2-point victory there. But it's early, so not a whole lot of data to draw from. But I'm thinking they might go undefeated until They face Cretin-Durham Hall and St. Thomas Academy, both road games, I might add. And here's a look at the Highland Park schedule that awaits them outside of the MEA week. But Harding, Humboldt, Johnson, Como, those present winnable games. The St. Paul City Conference, technically it's not how they line up in football, but I think you know what I mean. They haven't been as formidable as some of the other schools in the area. But like we said, we don't have a lot of data to draw from yet. Week 1 behind us, we're in week 2, so it's really hard to gauge the circumstances until we get a little closer. That's typically how football works compared to the other sports like soccer that we'll be covering on Tuesday, and I'll be with you for that one. White Bear Lake hosting a doubleheader then. But it's time for the second half. Mahtomedi again will receive the second half kickoff. And I don't think we're going to see a ton of activity, if any, from the starters. They did more than enough, with Mahtomedi capitalizing on a short field. Again, 2 possessions at first and goal to start. And 3 times overall, Mahtomedi started a series in the red zone. Their longest drive, 57 yards. That resulted in a score. This one a low kickoff. Scooped up by Gavin Cruz. Flexing his fast feet once more and giving Mahtomedi solid field position. It will be 1st and 10 at the 43.
First down for the Zephyrs on the 43-yard line.
And indeed, the backup, Trevor Rogoszewski, is still out there. He'll pitch it to number 23, Mose Buchapau, and he picks up his biggest gain of the evening. Buchapau inside the 40.
Buchapau's carry good for another Mahtomedi. First down.
We'll take another look. There's Buchapau. That's a quick 19. First down at the 38. Buchapau saw a few reps last year for the Zephyrs. Another carry, big seam up the right side. Buchapau will follow that opening as he is tackled by Davis at the 20.
Buchapau's carry good for another Mahtomedi.
19-yard gain and an 18-yard gain for Buchapau. I know he is lower on the depth chart compared to Rubish and Cruz, but this could be another option for Mahtomedi, another possibility. They're in a pinch and they have to call up number 23. This time he runs up the left side and there are no blockers to help him, so Highland able to hold him for a short gain.
Wicks on the tackle.
Wicks on the tackle.
For the Zephyrs.
A 3-yard gain for Buchapau. Once again is the tailback. And Cruz appears to be the fullback. As Rogoszewski lines up under center. It's Buchapau again. Spins past one tackler, but he can't spin past a second. Ball knocked loose.
Fumble recovered by Davis.
And Isaiah Davis makes the fumble recovery. So a promising drive for the backup group by Mahtomedi. ends, and I don't know if that was a punch out or if Muchapao lost the grip, but Joaquin Lechuga made the initial play. And Davis scooped it up. So a stop for the Scots. About time. It didn't look like they were fully set. Lechuga was still motioning to the sideline, and I don't think that was a trick play. Lechuga, I don't think fully understood the play. A 1-yard loss. Let's take another look. We saw the tail end of it. Lechuga was still motioning as they went to Jackson on the carry, and Lechuga is asking, what the heck happened? 2nd and 11. Reed keeps. Jackson blocking for him. Reed able to get past the 20. But it's going to be 3rd and long.
3rd and 6 for the Scots.
Okay, a little closer than I thought. Forward progress. Spotted him at the 22. So 3rd and 6, but still not the ideal situation for the Scots, who've forced their first turnover of the game on the fumble by Muchapao. Split backs. And Jackson the deep back, but Reed wants to throw. It's a screen to Keelan Vang, and Mahtomedi covers it well.
Hudson Hargrove on the tackle for the Zephyrs.
Picked up a yard, and the punting unit already coming out for Highland Park. And as you saw in the replay, no open space for Vang to work with. So a 3 and out after Highland gets the turnover. Punt is away. Mahtomedi will not return it. The ball will stop just past the midfield marker, and Mahtomedi will take over at the 50. So no damage done after the Muchapao fumble.
1st and 10, Mahtomedi.
And they'll get to try again. If you're curious, for those who haven't watched high school football in a while or maybe need a refresher, the mercy rule threshold would be 35 or more by the 4th quarter unless the coaches were to agree to it ahead of time. Pitch to Muchapao on 1st and 10 at the 50. Muchapao breaking through tacklers, finds a big seam up the middle, and he'll pick up another 19 yards. He's been able to rip off some big chunks. We'll see if he can hang on to the ball. That was the one Achilles heel that got him on the last series. But he's running his routes and reading his lanes superbly in the time he's out there. And as we said, it may be coming against a team they will beat soundly. It may be in stat padding time, but these notes could be helpful later in the season as Muchapao barrels down the left side and add a few more yards. He picks up about 5. It's been a pretty clean game, all things considered. Just a total of 3 penalties in the first half. 1 delay of game, and then that dual penalty, illegal block, and then a late hit that occurred after the play. Ogrzewski under center, Muchapao the tailback. Another carry, big hole up the right side, and Muchapao marches forward to the 10.
Gullickson on the tackle.
Highland player down.
Mahtomedi. First down.
After a gain of 16. And Muchapao
on the carry.
much like Cruz and Rubish, cashing in on the lanes. That is Lechuga, whose leg is being worked on. Lechuga, the 5'10 junior. Dave Zajic guiding him back to the Highland Park side.
First and goal from the 10-yard line for the Zephyrs.
Well, the band has called it a night, it looks like, so. Mujapal, nothing up the center, so he scampers down the left side. The change in direction leads to a touchdown for Mose Mujapal, the senior.
Scoring from 10 yards out, number 23, Mo Mujapal.
Mujapal carried the ball on every play of that series. And a fine adjustment by him when he saw the middle lane was blocked off. Noticed plenty of space along that left side. Followed his intuition. Extra point is blocked.
Extra point is blocked by the Scots. Zephyrs lead 47.
40-7, the score as Mose Mujapal picks up his first rushing touchdown of the year. Take another look. He went up and then cut left when he saw there was nothing to be gained up the middle. And as we said before, this may not matter all that much in this game, but it could matter down the road, especially when Mahtomedi has those barometer games to end the season. Cretin-Durham Hall and St. Thomas Academy, both road games. But that was a four plays, 50 yards, 54 seconds. And Mose Mujapal carried the ball all 4 times.
5-4 will kick off for the Zephyrs.
Did not have a carry against Mankato West last week. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being the leading rusher in this game. Davis initially bobbled the kickoff, picks it up, and brings it to the 26-yard line.
Davis on the return. Schmiedels and Bankston on the tackle for the Zephyrs.
We'll see what Reed and Jackson have in store in this series. For Highland Park, we've seen them sprinkle in some big plays, but they haven't been able to sustain it or reel off a series of them the way Mahtomedi has in this game as Reed underthrows his target, Keelan Bang. That is going to be the story to watch for Highland Park later this season. How comfortable, how acclimated can they get Reed in the pocket? This is not his natural position. And like anything, it takes some time. At the higher levels, you typically don't put in a running back and defensive back at quarterback, but things are a little different in high school ball. Jackson out to the 30. For a gain of 4.
Carter and Opitz on the tackle.
Had some blocking initially, but then a sea of navy and gold.
3rd and 6 for the Scots.
We did say whoever established the run game would be the favorite to win, and Mahtomedi doing that all the way up and down the depth chart. The 3 young men who scored touchdowns in the winner from Mankato West did so again tonight, and Muchapau joining the group in the last series for the Zephyrs. 3rd and 6 for the Scots. Reed keeps, he's being pursued from behind, has some blocking though, and Reed able to gain just enough. Actually, he picked up plenty. Reed.
First down for the Scots.
Ends up with a gain of 14 yards. It didn't seem like 14 on the replay, but Reed a little sneaky on that series. On that play, I should say. Gannon Heyman was pursuing him from behind, but Reed just a little too swift for him. It's Jackson's turn with the ball. This time he had a gap along the right side of the line, and he is able to pick up another first down as he gets it to the 46.
Opitz and Grady on the tackle for the Zephyrs.
Back-to-back first downs for the Scots. 5:17 left in the 3rd, and again, this is all coming in stat padding time. Mahtomedi sending out their backups midway through the 2nd quarter. But just like Muchapau could be offering another pathway for the Zephyrs, what we see out of Highland Park tonight could speak volumes later. They have some winnable games coming up. As Jackson pushes up the middle for a 5-yard gain. They gave him an 11-yard gain on the last play. And he just pushed the pile up by himself, it looked like. But what we see tonight out of Highland could also be a foreboding. As we see Davis making defenders miss. Pushed out of bounds at the 25. Another first down for the Scots. Isaiah Davis, the 6'3" running back, 6'3", 210. We don't see a lot of lengthy running backs, although Orono has one of their own. And one advantage, even though a 6'3" frame might not look like a running back in the traditional sense, so one advantage is having that extra body, that extra oomph, can make it difficult to bring someone down, at least not without assistance. That time, Mahtomedi covering up the lanes and getting to Davis before he can do much with it. And Davis held for a gain of 1. Second and 9. Reed, the junior, under center. Keeps it. Spins past a couple of tacklers, but Mahtomedi able to keep Reed from breaking out for a big one.
Pendleton on the tackle.
Pendleton making the stop. 3-yard gain. It will be 3rd and 6 in what is 4-down territory. Even with the game pretty much in hand. The Pioneer Press tabbed Reed as the most intriguing figure to watch before the season. Their high school football preview. And his progression will be something to monitor in later weeks. 3rd and 6, up the middle goes Jackson.
Jackson on the carry.
Stopped just short by a yard. And Jackson getting his left leg stretched out. We mentioned this in week 1, and even though the temperatures have been fall-like, cramping can still creep up. It doesn't have to be hot and humid if that is indeed the case. It will be 4th and 1 when we resume. And they are still stretching out the left leg of Brandon Jackson, the 5'10" junior. And he gets back up and will trot his way back to the Highland Park bench. Now he's limping a little bit. So Jackson will have to sit out this play at least.
4th and 1 for the Scots.
They'll have to take another look at it. It might be more than a cramp. Meanwhile, on 4th and 1, it's a keeper. Reed has enough. There he is. He disappeared into the pile.
1st and 10 for the Scots on the 14-yard line.
Fresh set of downs. At the 15.
Fumble recovered by Reed.
And Reed able to get on top of it after the ball was fumbled. I see what happened. It was a bad snap. No gain on the play. Second and 10 at the 15. And Reed under center again. This time the snap is clean. It's Davis on the carry. He fumbles it, and Mahtomedi will pick it up. Wyatt Hirschbach up the left side, tackled by Reed. But Hirschbach making the fumble recovery. Again, Jackson, the primary ball carrier, still working on his legs along the sideline, and Davis, while he was able to get a big gain, just lost his grip as Jackson Foy dragged him down. So the third turnover caused by Mahtomedi. First and 10 at the 44. Muchabao carried the ball on every play of the last Zephyrs series. We'll see if that happens again. No, Rogoszewski keeps. And Highland Park blows it up. Stephen Linebaugh Jr., I believe, was the first to get to him.
Linebaugh, tackle.
No, it was number 65, Baeza Regassa, but Linebaugh certainly helped him out.
2nd and 14 for the Zephyrs.
So Regassa the first to get to Rogoszewski, and Linebaugh also swallowed him up. Mahtomedi will let time expire. And regroup for the fourth quarter. They've got the win in hand just about as they lead 40-7 with one more to play. As the backup crew
That's the end of the third quarter.
Getting some first-hand experience
Zephyrs lead
of the gridiron,
47.
experience that could prove valuable later in the season. Fourth quarter coming up in just a moment.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter, Cynthia, and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
Mahtomedi raring to go to start quarter number 4 as they cap off a dominant week 2 performance. Muchapau spinning past tacklers. He's got the first down and plenty more as he traverses up the left sideline inside the 35.
Go on the tackle.
Right at the 35.
Muchapau's getting good for another.
But that's a
Mahtomedi.
25-yard gain for Muchapau.
First down.
And when you factor in, as the Mahtomedi huddle, they're all looking at the coaching staff before reading the play, but Muchapau, at this rate, he's going to be the leading rusher for the Zephyrs. Of course, he had more snaps than the starters did, but what that could mean in terms of value, we'll have to see. A fake handoff, then a pitch to Muchapau. Plenty of turf along the right side as Muchapau rattles off another big game.
Gullickson on the tackle.
Gullickson with the tackle, but
Muchapau's getting good for another Mahtomedi.
snatching up big chunk after big chunk of yardage. Back-to-back first downs. Muchapau accumulating more than 100 yards rushing. Will he get his number called again on 1st and 10? You bet he will on the pitch, but the right side a little more pinched off. Mahtomedi was along the right hash mark. So Muchapau will have to settle for a 3-yard gain this time.
Second and 7 for the Zephyrs.
But once again, over 100 yards rushing. Has 1 touchdown to his credit. We'll see if he can pick up a second. Once again, lined up in the tailback slot. No, they go to the fullback this time, and he joins the party. Isaac Opitz with his first touchdown of 2025.
Scoring for Mahtomedi, number 42, Isaac Opitz.
You don't see this often. 5 different Zephyrs on offense scoring, and then Hazy had the punt return for a touchdown all the way back in the first quarter.
Ryan will kick for the Zephyrs.
This will put us in the Mercy Rule threshold, so after this we'll have the running clock, which means we'll be done in about 10 minutes, unless Highland Park were to score again. Byvolk and beginning a little wobbly with his kicks.
Kick is good.
But that one left no doubt. A 5-play, 56-yard drive. 2 minutes, 54 seconds. We'll take another look at our upcoming schedule. I said I'd be with you on Tuesday for a soccer doubleheader, Woodbury and White Bear Lake. Weather looks solid for that one. And then September 16th, we go to the volleyball court indoors, Park of Cottage Grove and White Bear Lake. And then we'll have another soccer doubleheader. This one's always a good one. Hill Murray and Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi boys and girls have been front runners. The girls, of course, winning state last year. And Hill Murray always a force. A conference and section game on the 18th. We hope to see you then. So Highland Park takes another kickoff return, and this is number 11, who is not listed in the roster. Again, the clock will run from here.
Tackle for the Zephyrs. First and 10 for the Scots from their 21-yard line.
So I suspect we'll see more backups get some reps in. A game that Mahtomedi dominated from start to finish. This is Lechuga back in service after, I believe, he suffered a cramp.
Hargrove and Seapress on the tackle for the Zephyrs.
He's still maybe feeling some ill effects because he is hobbling back to the Highland Park bench. He picked up 7 yards, but may have exacerbated whatever ailment was afflicting him. We do have some live score updates from around the Metro that I'll share with you because chances are we'll wrap up before most of the other games tonight. As Reed tries to follow his blocker and got back to the original line of scrimmage before he fell on the field, and it will be 3rd and 3. Stillwater leading Park of Cottage Grove 15-3. The Ponies lost their season opener last night. Becker over Hutchinson 14-0. Becker looking to bounce back after getting blanked by Orono. Maple Grove up 14-7 over Eden Prairie. Edina will take care of Wayzata. They lead 33-7 in that one. Champlain Park and Andover knotted up at 14. Holy Angels leading Benilde St. Margaret 6-0. And Mounds View, they lead 21-0 over Roseville. Shakopee over Lakeville South 10-6. Minnetonka should pick up another win as they lead St. Michael Albertville 28-0. They blanked Eastridge last week. And as Reed is tackled from behind. No, he's still going. I thought he was dragged down
Reed on the carry
by number 41.
Foy still on the tackle.
But Foy was able to get him just shy of the 30, and that's short of the line to gain. Orono, after beating Becker last week, they are trailing 19-0 to Byron, so Class 4A might have some new
4th and 2 for the Scots.
contenders in the mix. And outside of district action, Moorhead beats Woodbury 34-27. 4th and 2. He gives it to Jackson, who is swallowed up almost instantly by Liam Carter, and Mahtomedi will take over on downs. Once again, the penetration for Mahtomedi. For the most part, that defensive line doing a tremendous job plugging up those spaces, not giving Highland Park room to negotiate.
Tackle number 74, Liam Carter on the last tackle. Now in at quarterback, Fergus Speedy.
New quarterback in for Mahtomedi. It's Fergus Feedy. Mahtomedi will have to take a timeout. And that will stop the clock with 5:10. Fergus Feedy getting his first snap on varsity. He wasn't listed on the game day roster. There's a look at the water tower. And once again, there's the schedule. I think the games to look for based on this performance and last week, those last two games on the road, Cretin-Durham Hall and St. Thomas Academy. But St. Louis Park, Kennedy, Jefferson, and Tartan, I think Mahtomedi could get to 6-0, but we'll see. And I'm looking at all the rosters that we had access to. Fergus Feedy not listed in any of them. Flag flies, and it's a false start. First penalty of the second half.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
As Pat Sajak used to say on Wheel of Fortune, there are worse times for that. First and 15, but you won't sweat it much when you're up 47-7. On the carry is number 14, and we're going to be learning a whole lot of new names here.
Modded on the tackle.
It's a gain
Johnson on the carry
of 3 yards. That's Johnson, number 14. I suspect there may be some updates coming to the roster after tonight. But again, in a game like this, we saw. Now we have number 41 at quarterback. And Johnson on the carry. There's a flag that comes in from the backfield. And I don't have a 41 on our roster either. As I was saying, I think there will be some updates. Kirkwood is number 41. And here's the penalty.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Typically when you see a flag from the referee, it's for holding. We did see an illegal block earlier, but usually a flag from the backfield is not a good sign for the offensive side. So a 10-yard penalty, that makes it 2nd and White Bear Lake. Had to get that in there. Nowhere to go for Opitz. Masoud Ahmadad, I believe, making the play. And it's a loss of a yard. But for these younger student athletes, this could be the seed that plants bigger aspirations. Plays aren't turning out all that well yet, as Kirkwood will keep and pick up about 3 yards. 4th and 20. With under 3 minutes to go.
4th and 20.
But for those freshmen, sophomores, or even the juniors who go to the practice sessions, do all the reps, run all the plays, may not get the glory of the starters. Getting this kind of action can be fruitful later on. So it looks like Feedy, yes, is back out there, but he'll pitch it to Johnson. Johnson, plenty of space. Johnson, one man to beat. Can't quite clear him, but he turns a 4th and 20 into a first down.
Gullickson on the tackle. Johnson's carry good for
And that should allow Mahtomedi to run out the clock if they wish. Johnson picking up 28 yards on 4th and 20. I did say this was stat padding time. Well, Johnson padding his numbers by about 20 yards as we see Kirkwood under center this time. They're trying out everybody at quarterback. He'll keep, look for blocking, and he gets it
Kirkwood on the carry.
as he maneuvers to about the 3.
Hardy on the tackle. 2nd and goal from the 3.
2nd and goal. Whether or not Mahtomedi scores is academic. But as we saw with Muchapau, who picked up over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. As we're getting here from Johnson, who turned a 4th and 20 into a first down with his legs. All of those factors could be useful later. Whether an injury or something else happens and you have to call upon someone here. I think we're getting victory formation now with under a minute. And that is indeed the case. BD takes a knee, and that's going to do it. And the play clock not moving, but I don't think it makes much of a difference at this point. Mahtomedi, a wire-to-wire win. They were the favored team, and they demonstrated their might from the first series of the game, forcing a 3-and-out on Highland, turning a high snap into an 8-yard touchdown run, a punt return for a touchdown that was blocked. Any way you slice it, Mahtomedi delivered. And they go to 2-0. Should be one of the favorites, at least in the early going in Class 5A. Getting a win over Mankato West and following it up with a 47-7 victory over Highland Park. A whole lot of Zephyrs scoring touchdowns tonight. Ozzy, one on special teams. Graff got a touchdown run in. Rubish had a pair. Cruz got one. Jackson, that was for Highland Park, scoring the only touchdown for the Scots. Muchapau and Opitz adding touchdown runs later. We'll take one more look at the highlights on Pink Out Night. The students may be wearing pink, but Mahtomedi was red hot. And it began from their first offensive series at the 8, following a high snap. That's Graff who kept it himself and ran it in. Here's the Hazy block punt that led to a touchdown. Mahtomedi led 21-0 at that point. Later on, it's Rubish with his second touchdown run. Jackson scoring the only touchdown for Highland Park, working the right side. That came just before the half expired. Muchapau picked up over 100 yards. And Rogoszewski got plenty of experience at quarterback tonight. A lot of folks from Mahtomedi picking up reps, and that could pay dividends later on this year. Again, Mahtomedi has a lengthy winnable stretch ahead of them, and Highland Park could pick up some wins as well. So these two teams certainly worth keeping an eye on, but the Zephyrs asserting their authority through 2 weeks of the regular season. They win 47-7 over Highland Park. We invite you to join us again on Tuesday for a boys-girls soccer doubleheader, White Bear Lake and Woodbury. Until then, this is Mike Beaton thanking you for watching live coverage of high school football on SCC. We'll see you next time.